While on a Zoom call with a transformation coach a little over a year ago, I was told by her that I had a tic. She said I blinked profusely when I talked about my childhood, and it was likely a result of unresolved childhood trauma. She said it was likely negatively affecting all areas of my life. She suggested I attend a weekend retreat. At that retreat, she taught me the one thing that would radically change my life forever. And in a moment, I'll share exactly what she taught me. But first, have you ever in your adult life looked in the mirror and thought, wow, I thought things would be different by now? I thought things would be better by now? Well, if you have, you're not alone. But what if I told you there's one thing, just one thing, that can make a shift so that you realize this is the greatest time in history in your life for you to find freedom and happiness and live abundantly in your personal life and your relationships? But first, let me introduce myself. My name is Brad Chandler. And ever since I learned that one thing, my life has radically transformed. I now see and experience the world in a radically different light. I no longer need alcohol or weed to make me feel comfortable in social situations. I no longer take things personally or get irritated by everyone's actions. The chaos in my business has vanished, and we're flourishing like never before. I no longer get mad at, lash out at, and then shut down to my partner when she brings something to me that I did that upset her. I no longer hold in my emotions when someone makes me feel a certain way. I have found true freedom and happiness, something that money can't buy. Life has truly never been better for me. It wasn't always like this. Despite owning a business that generates millions in revenue, driving a luxury vehicle, and owning a yacht, I looked in that mirror and said, I thought things would be different. I've had 2 failed marriages, 5 business mistakes that cost me $9 million, 2 children with behavioral issues, and I used weed and alcohol to make me feel better. I wanted freedom and happiness and the ability to be my authentic self and to be in an amazing, deeply connected relationship. I knew my childhood wasn't perfect, but whose is, right? I went to countless marriage counselors and individual therapy sessions, but nothing seemed to work. So I thought, what do I have to lose to go to this retreat? So with nothing to lose but some money, I went. While there, she taught me the one thing I needed to do to find the freedom and happiness I'd searched 47 years for. That one thing was to identify and reverse the false beliefs that we create as children to get us through the stressful times or the trauma we experience. I couldn't believe it worked. I remember waking up the next day and while getting a massage, bursting into tears. It was the first time in my life I cried tears of joy. It was the first time in my life I truly felt free. I'm the guy who went to therapy for 30 years and got nowhere. I can remember leaving marriage counseling most times worse off than when we went in. I was the person who had been drinking since I was 10 years old. When you reverse your false beliefs, everything changes. You're enough just as you are. You're able to feel compassion for others. You're able to freely be who you are at your core without a facade or without the use of drugs or alcohol to mask your uncomfortableness. Being your authentic self 100% of the time is true freedom that no amount of money can ever buy. When you have self-love, you stop comparing yourself to others and instead have joy for their accomplishments. For me, where judgment occurred, now compassion resides. And where empathy was non-existent, it now flows freely. Many of my broken relationships are now repaired. Life is so freaking good. You're watching today for a reason. Something in your life isn't perfect and you desire more. So you know where you are and you probably know where you want to go. The only thing left is, how are you going to get there? Whether you're in a bad relationship, depressed, anxious, stressed, you drink too much, eat too much, work too much, today you have the chance to begin a journey that could forever change your life and your relationships. I'm not exactly sure what your definition of freedom and happiness is, but I want to tell you here and now, the thing that's standing between you and the life you want and deserve, that next level, that reaching your full potential, is the false beliefs you've lived with your entire life. You can transform your life just like I was able to do with mine. If you're ready for a better life, click the schedule a call button below for a free 30-minute consultation to discover if you're a fit.